Hello traders, welcome back to this video. It is another day to make a very good analysis for you guys. So this week we had a very good change of character on gold, and right now we expect some bullish movement on gold to the upside. So if I drop down into the lower time frame, the 15 minutes time frame, you can notice well that we have a change of character. But before I do that, I told you from our last analysis that I expect the price to tap into the weekly order block, and then we look for buys from that area. And clearly the order block had a very good reaction. The price had a very good reaction from that order block, and we have formed a very good change of character inside the lower time frame. So currently right now we expect price to go up and clear the external liquidity after reacting from that order block. So that was the order block from the last video I told you guys. So we had a very good rejection, and if I drop down into the 15 minutes time frame, you can see clearly that here we had a very good downtrend. We had a very good downtrend at this point. You can see there was a change of character here. Price pulled back and then went down to break a structure. We have a pullback, a break of structure, a break of structure here, another break of structure, and then we saw that price after price tapped into that weekly order block, we have price coming back to clear the lower high that was formed there, and we have a very good change of character. So after the change of character, price pulled back. I don't know if the price pulled back into a 50% level. Let me see. We have this pullback. Yes, exactly. So the price came into this 50% level of our Fibonacci retracement tool. Then we had this push to the upside. So after the change of character, we also have this break of structure. So let me mark the break of structure so that we can follow on how the trend is moving to the upside. So we have this break of structure here, a very clear break of structure to the upside. You can see that. So let me use this and mark another break of structure here. So we have another break of structure at this point. The price has cleared that high and formed that break of structure. Then we have the price coming up. You can notice that the price pulled back, took out this liquidity, swept this low as a liquidity, the major inducement, and then went up to break another structure. So after that break of structure, we have another break of structure here, but the price later came down and took out this low. You can notice how price took out this low's liquidity here. This is a sweep of liquidity before the market moved to the upside. So we have that sweep of liquidity, and then the market went up to clear this high. So it means we have another break of structure to the upside. So we have another break of structure to the upside. And now, currently right now, price is at this point, and we don't have a very good pullback into the 50% level before the break to the upside. So I expect once you see that a pullback has not come into the 50% level, there is a high chance that that pullback is going to be used as an inducement. So in this case, you can see if I draw my fib level from this low to this point, this low here did not come into the 50% level. But what price did, because the momentum was very, very aggressive to the upside, price went up to clear this high and then pulled back, clear the low that never came into the 50% level. So the same thing will happen at this point, or you can also use this example here. After the break of structure at this point, we had this first pullback. This first pullback did not come into the 50% level from this low. You can mark it from that low. You can mark it from that low to this high, and then you can see that, sorry, from that low to this point, and Then you can see that this pullback here did not come into the 50% level. What did the price do? The price had this pullback coming down to clear this lows liquidity before moving to the upside. So the same thing we are going to apply at this point. You can see that we have this break of structure to the upside, and we mark our fib level from that low to this high. You can see that this high here, the pullback that came inside did not come into this 50% level. So what I expect from price, I expect price to pull back after the break of structure. We always expect a pullback, so I expect price to pull back, take out this low, and then we move to the upside. So what should I do? I should be marking my points of interest. So let me go back into the 1 hour time frame to see if we can have a very good point of interest, and then in the 4 hour time frame we can also mark the fair value gaps. So we already have this fair value gap. So I expect the market to come into that fair value gap. I'm watching out for that. After the price comes into this area, we look for our buys to the upside. So inside that fair value gap, I want to see a very good point of interest. We have this point of interest down here. We have that one. So we are not going to ignore that point of interest. And then inside the 1 hour time frame, you can see we have another fair value gap at this point. So we will drop down into the 30 minutes time frame and try to look for another point of interest. So inside the 30 minutes time frame, we don't have any point of interest. So let me drop into the 15 minutes time frame. So just after this pullback, we have this point of interest in the 15 minutes time frame, and I expect price to come and fill this fair value gap before we buy. So let me delete this fair value gap. You can see where the fair value gap is. So I will delete that, and then I'll be marking this point of interest here, just below just below the pullback, this pullback here, just below the pullback. So there is this order block here. I will be expecting price to come at that point. I'll watch out to see what the reaction will be from this point, and I also expect you guys to be doing that. So we have this 1 hour order block also down here, and we have this uh, order block here in the 15 minutes time frame. So these are my points of interest to watch out for on gold on the 15 minutes time frame. Let's watch out for these areas, this one and this one, to see the reaction from that area. So I expect this will be my highest probability point of interest because of this liquidity just above the area. So I will wait to see price to come into this area, and then if we have a very good confirmation, we take our trades from that area, stop loss below this low, and then our first take profit will be 1:3 risk reward ratio as we continue holding our buys to the upside. So on gold, generally we are very bullish. Expect more buys, expect more bullish movement to the upside. And if you catch a very good entry, you can hold your buys to this external liquidity. I expect gold to be pushing and clear the high up there. So that is my view on gold. Let's watch out to see what the price will do. And as always, I tell you guys that we react with how the price reacts. So if price decides to come deeper into this area, we will also look for our buys from that area. So that is my view on gold, guys. Stop loss below that zone, and then that is after a confirmation, and then the full take profit will be up here. So that is my view on gold. Let's go to another pair. I have another pair. I also have USD JPY. On USD JPY, we are very bullish to the upside. If I come into the 4 hour time frame, we had this change of character. I had marked this level for you guys from our last video, but the price never came into that area. So instead, we will react with how the price is reacting to the upside. So currently right now, I want to focus on this area here. I marked this point of interest up here on the daily time frame, and I told you guys that we see a very good change of character. But if price comes into this area, we always want to see a good change of character to see that price is willing to go to the downside. But the price can decide to clear that high because you can see we have a very good momentum to the upside. So let me mark for you the lower time frame zones. So on the 4-hour time frame, I want to focus more on this area, on what is happening here today. And I expect the price to be having a pullback after the break of structure in the lower time frame. So the 4-hour time frame, we have a very good fair value gap at this point, and I expect price to come into that fair value gap. I want to see price pulling back into this area before we move to the upside. As you can see clearly, the price has been doing that. We had this fair value gap here. Price pulled back into that area, and we had this push to the upside. So I want to see price pulling back into that fair value gap. So if I drop down into the 1-hour time frame, you can see clearly that price is breaking structure to the upside. You can see this break of structure to the upside. We have that break. We have another break here, and then up here in this fair value gap, we have another break. So clearly, we are following the trend to the upside, and I don't want to complicate everything, so I'll be marking the break of structures so that we can look for a point of entry to the upside. So we also have another break of structure here also. I want to make this analysis very simple for you guys. So we have another break of structure, and then after the break of structure, we always expect a pullback. You can see what I told you guys. When you see the pullback is not coming into the 50% level, that pullback has a high probability of being used as an inducement. You can see this pullback. Sorry, let me mark the fib level correctly. So we had this break, and then we had this pullback, the first pullback that came inside here and moved to the upside. What price did, the price came back, took out this loss liquidity, and then we have the break to the upside. So that is the same thing I expect on USD JPY. I expect price to be pulling back into this area, taking this loss liquidity and then move to the upside. So we have this area, we have this one. So let me mark it for you guys. So let me delete this and show you something first. So if I come into this area again, you can see that once price broke structure to the upside, we have this low. If I mark the fib level to this high, you can see that when price was trying to pull back, this pullback did not come into the 50% level. And after the pullback, the price went up to clear this high liquidity. And after that, the price again came down. We have this price coming down, take this loss liquidity. So you can notice on how the market always moves uh, in a in a structure that is not complicated if you understand how the market moves. So we have another break of structure at this point. We have this pullback. The market tried to have a pullback, and then the market is now moving to the upside. So what I expect on USD JPY, I expect the market to have a pullback into this area, take out this low, and then we move to the upside. So for now, we have this fair value gap. So this is my best point of interest. This is my point of interest. We have this fair value gap. And if I drop down into the 30 minutes time frame, I want to mark any order block that is around that area. So you can notice the pullback here. This is the pullback. And this pullback is not up to the 50% level. So I expect this low to be taken out. So if I drop into the 15-minute time frame, around that fair value gap, we have this order block. So I will have that as my point of interest, just around that fair value gap. And the market also can decide to come even lower into these areas, but that will be my point of interest. I want to see a reaction from that point before I take any buy entries to the upside. So that is my area. That is where I expect price to come back into before I take my buys to the upside. So on USD JPY, that is my view. The first target, as always, 1:3 risk reward ratio, and uh, the full take profit will be on the external liquidity. That is my view on USD JPY. Let us look at GBP USD also. Before that, let me look at NAS 100 for you guys. So on NAS 100, if I come into the daily time frame, we have a very good break of structure to the upside at this point after the price came down to take this low liquidity. So it simply means that we have a very strong low down here that swept this low liquidity before going up to break a structure. So we expected the price to take this external liquidity, but the price did not do that. So it simply means that the price will be buying from around this area to go and clear the external liquidity. So on the 4-hour time frame, after confirming this break of structure to the upside, after the price swept this low liquidity, we expect some buying pressure from this area to the upside. And into the lower time frame, the 1-hour time frame, we have a very good order block that was not mitigated. You remember this order block that I showed you guys? After the price changed character here, the price never came into the extreme point of interest, and this was the order block that I expected price to come back into before the price moves to the upside. So this is the order block here, but I will adjust it to this low because that is the low. So I extend that order block and I'll be expecting to see a reaction from that area. Already the market is forming some liquidity just above that area. So I'll expect the market to come down, tap into this area, sweep this low's liquidity, and then I take my buys from that low. So if I come back into the 4-hour time frame, that is my point of interest. Expect the price to drop down into this area, and then I take my buys from that area to the upside. So if price comes into this area, what do I expect? I expect you guys to look for a confirmation and take your buys after the change of character. You mark your 50% level, take your buys from that area, and then the full take profit will be up here on the external liquidity. So the same thing happened here on the 1-hour time frame. You can see we had a very good change of character. Remember, we had this as our external liquidity at that point. At that time, this was the external liquidity here, and the price formed a very good change of character here. We had this change of character. You can see that clearly. I want you guys to notice on how the market always forms these patterns. So this is a change of character. Price pulled back and never came into this point of interest. You can see if you take your fib level from that low and mark that high, you can see that price came into the 50% level. If you could have entered your trade from that point, your stop loss below here, it means you'll be targeting up here on the external liquidity, and you can see clearly your take profit could have been hit. So that is the exact thing I expect you guys to do. So if price comes into this area, here's this low liquidity, and then we have a change of character. Make sure you use your 50% level of your Fibonacci retracement tool, and then you have your entry to the upside. So that is my view on NAS 100. I hope you guys will take advantage of that. So let's see what the price will do, and we always react with how the price reacts. So I also have GBP USD. I also have GBP USD. On GBP USD, we already have a very good reaction from this area. We had this fair value gap that price left behind. This is the fair value gap. From the daily time frame, this is the fair value gap. So the fair value, the price has already tapped into that fair value gap, and we have a very good reaction. So from our last video, I told you guys that I expected the price to come and mitigate this area. So let me mark this. Expected the price to come and mitigate this order block, the daily order block, and watch out for a reaction from that point. But currently, right now, the price has not yet tapped into that area. So I still expect some push into this area before I look for a good reaction to the downside. So if I drop into the 4-hour time frame, we have the price tapping. The price has come into this area. You can see clearly that price has come into this order block that I told you guys to watch out for. We have a very good area. So we have this 4-hour time frame order block. So price has already come into that area. We have price tapping into that order block, and then we have this bearish reaction. So if I drop into the 1-hour time frame, you can see that clearly. We have the price tapping into that area, then we have this bearish reaction. So if you can see clearly that at this point, we have price clearing this high as a change of character. This high here was a very strong high because it swept this high's liquidity before going down to break structure. So if this is a change of character and uh, the market is looking to confirm to us that we are in a bullish movement to the upside, we will expect a reaction from this low. So that is why it is very, very important. Even if you mark this as your change of character, the market can simply move down and clear this low also, because this high can be used as a liquidity. So confirm that you can't have an aggressive entry from this point. So because that was a very good supply level, we will expect, if the market will be dropping down, I will be expecting a reaction from the this point of interest in the lower time frame. So I have this order block here in the 15-minute time frame. So we have this area, a very good order block that is unmitigated. So I was telling you guys that if this is a valid change of character, we must confirm a change of character from this low to support the buy to the upside. And you can see clearly that the market is forming liquidity just above that point of interest. So this is the liquidity, the trend line liquidity. You can see clearly that trend line liquidity. So because we have that reaction from that point, I expect the selling pressure to come into this low. And after that, I want to confirm that the price is reacting from this point of interest before I look for my buys to the upside. But as for now, I expect sales to go down to push the market down, because we have a very good bearish reaction to the downside. So I expect the market to use this high as a liquidity, and I expect the market to clear these lows, the external liquidity. So as for now, in order for us to confirm this is a change of character, we need to have a good change of character in the lower time frame from this point to support the move to the upside. But if this is not a good point of interest to confirm a change of character, I expect the price to form a very good change of character at this point, and then we have an entry in the 50% level. We already have a change of character if the market closes below this low, and we will be having our sales to the downside. So if I take the fib level from that high to this low, once the candle closes, I'll be having my entries from the 50% level to the downside. So you can sell from this area to the downside and look for potential buys from this point down here. So that is my view on USD. On GBP USD. After the candle closes down here, I expect a pullback and then my selling opportunities to the downside. So let me delete this because this is not a very good setup to buy from that area. So I expect selling pressure from that area to the downside. So let us watch out for that also. So after the change of character, wait for a pullback into the 50% level and then you take your sales to the downside. So thank you guys for being here. That is my analysis. I'll be updating you guys on Sunday on what the market is doing. So stay updated and don't forget to like, share, subscribe down below, and then turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss on any analysis that I give you guys.